What if I told you that history's most terrifying weapon wasn't a sword, and nor was it an army, but rather it was a whisper made in the darkness, a belief so powerful that it could make a king fear sleep in his own palace? This is the true story of the order that gave the world its most terrifying word, assassin. Century, the world was ruled by one thing, iron. The Seljuk Empire, a military power that stretched from Turkey to Persia, crushed its enemies beneath the hooves of horses. Their cities, Isfahan and Ray, were symbols of grandeur and power, but their strength lay not in their justice, but in the edge of their sword. In the midst of this world of iron, a small sect, the Nizari Ismailis, were trying to preserve their faith. They had no army, no fortresses. They were hunted. Their scholars were murdered. Their books were for them every day was a battle to survive, a battle that they were losing. And in this darkness of despair, one man searched for light, a scholar, a missionary, a brilliant strategist whose name was Hassan-i Sabbah. Hassan knew that he could never defeat the Seljuks on the battlefield. Their armies were an ocean of iron. He had seen that answering the sword with the sword was suicide. So he asked himself that question, which changed history. Why fight an army when you can simply behead its leader? He needed a center, a sanctuary that wasn't just made of stone, but was a legend, a fortress so elevated that the enemy's army couldn't even think of reaching it. After wandering the mountains of Iran for years, he found that place, the eagle's nest of Alamut, and he acquired that fortress, but not with the sword. He conquered it through the mind. He secretly sent his people inside the fortress and executed such a psychological move that forced the fortress's governor, without spilling a drop of blood, to hand over his own fortress to him. From this mountain fortress of Alamut, Hassan, now called the Old Man of the Mountain, wasn't training soldiers. He was creating living weapons. His followers, the Fidai, were ready to sacrifice everything, but how? According to legends, he used hashish and mysterious gardens, but the reality is far deeper and more terrifying. Hassan gave them two things, knowledge and purpose. The Fidai weren't just taught to wield a dagger. They were taught multiple languages, mathematics, philosophy, and politics. They were taught to live for years in other cities as merchants, scholars, or elders, so that they would become part of that city. No one would suspect them. They became such an intelligence network that had no parallel. And with this knowledge, he gave them a purpose greater than the fear of death, a belief that their sacrifice would create a world where their people would be free and their faith would be protected. Their loyalty wasn't blind. It was based on deep understanding and conviction. Soon, the first demonstration of their power came. The Seljuk Empire's most powerful man, the Grand Vizier Nizam al-Mulk, openly mocked Hassan's power. One morning, the vizier woke up, and next to his head, plunged deep into the pillow, was a dagger. Just one message: we can reach you at any time, anywhere. The vizier's mind shattered. A few days later, a Fidai, disguised as an elder, approached him and finished the job. The empire was shocked, but this was only the beginning. Increase intensity. Another sultan, Sanjar, assembled a large army to attack Alamut. One morning when the sultan woke from sleep, he found the same dagger on his chest with a message. The message read, "If we had plunged this dagger into your soft chest, what would have happened?" The sultan immediately recalled his army. The Hashashin had proven that they don't fight with armies, they fight with minds. Their weapon wasn't the sword, it was fear. This was the beginning of psychological warfare. The Hashashin became such a power that couldn't be seen. Their reputation became their greatest weapon. So much so that during the Crusades, even the kings of Europe trembled at their name. They had no army, no treasure of gold, but they had something far more dangerous. Such a reputation that did their work for them. They became such a whisper made in the darkness that could topple an empire. In the end, to destroy the Hashashin, an unstoppable force of nature was needed. The Mongol horde, an army so vast that it buried Alamut and its legendary library, where centuries of knowledge was stored under millions of tons of stone. They could kill the people, but they couldn't kill that idea. The Hashashin were erased, but their tale became immortal, proving that in the wars of history, a powerful belief truly can be more dangerous than the world's greatest army. They taught the world that the most terrifying fortresses aren't built from stone, but are constructed in the minds of people. Subscribe to Islamic History with Raza for the stories you've never been told.